I think, Jesse, let's just catch up a little bit on how your year's been going. An amazing repeat at Wildflower. I know a bullseye was on your back. We talked about that on the podcast, and you came through.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you. It was a lot of fun. I felt, I don't think I really even let myself realize it prior to the race, but I did feel a lot of pressure going into that race, and even the entire experience, I wrote about it on my blog, and the entire experience of the race itself even was in a weird way pressure filled, even as I was exceeding my expectations through each kind of leg, and even when I was in the lead on the run, which is prior to the last mile of Wildflower last year, I'd never been in the lead on the run. I had six or 7 miles to go this year. It was a really uncomfortable lead. I was really worried that I was going to cramp, that Jordan was going to pass me, that all these things were going to happen, and ultimately, when I crossed the finish line, it was one of the best feelings of my life, just the relief of it. So yeah, really fun. Couldn't have gone any better, and an awesome, one of the definitely one of the major goals I had for the season. So
for most athletes, once you enter the arena, doesn't the pressure go away? It's becoming now you're at home. Now you can stop worrying about the outside pressure and just do your race.
I think that was true when I was running, but the races were so much shorter. You're out there for 4 hours, right, in the half Ironman, and I think in particular this year's Wildflower was it was a momentous experience for me. Not just I wanted to prove to myself that last year wasn't a fluke, as much as I wanted to prove it to everybody else, and I think being ironically being just on the cover of Triathlete magazine at the time added to a lot of that pressure, and feeling like, am I justified to be even on that cover, and that all that type of stuff just made that the most pressure filled situation I've ever had. So I definitely felt it through the entirety of the race, even once the gun went off, Is
that something people don't understand in the world of competitive sports, professional sports, is that it goes beyond just the sport itself? There's that outside pressure, there's the psychological pressure that you put on yourself, and then people expectations they put on you, and now you're on the cover of a magazine, and you're just like, hey, I just want to swim, bike, and run.
Yeah, it's it's the external expectation is something that's in a lot of ways new to me. I'd never been on the cover of anything before, and so I wasn't used to dealing with any of that type of pressure. And it's actually funny that we're talking about this, because I'm writing about it right now, and I'm trying to talk about for my next TriMag article. Actually, I'm trying to talk about the things that I do and that some of my other friends that are pros do to deal with the different types of pressure. And one of the things that I talked about was separating the internal pressure versus external. And there are these external things, and it might be the media or a magazine, but for a lot of age groupers, it might be just friends and family or a coworker. And trying to separate other people's expectations from your own, and making sure that you're racing for your own reasons, for your own fulfillment. And that was something I had to constantly remind myself of through the process at Wildflower, through the lead up to Wildflower, through the race, that, hey, this is something that I'm doing to prove to myself that is internal, and all these external things, even though in reality they will affect me, I'm going to try to minimize that effect as much as I can.